We are back with you with the CNC Auto Show, and one of the benefits to having a vehicle with a nuclear reactor, for instance, a aircraft carrier or something like that, is you don't have to stop and have fuel.
Right.
So that is a huge benefit. Now, of course, when you start talking about airplanes or cars with that, one of the major issues has always been having enough insulation between the reactor and the driver, and that makes it so heavy till it makes it unfeasible. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of things in this area that I don't know, and most of the American public don't know what happens in those fields. But the thing is, it's kind of interesting to think about a vehicle if it actually had a reactor and you never have to put gas in it. You buy the car and you drive it for the life of the vehicle and never have to put gas.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. We're ready to go to the calls?
Let's go over to Ben.
Hey, Ben, I see you have a Ford 5.4 engine, and what is that doing to you?
Nothing yet. I'm considering purchasing an older Ford van. It's the E350. It's a 2000 model. And I'm just concerned about, any potential issues that 5.4 engine may have to be, thinking about. It's got 200,000 miles on it, roughly.
Yeah.
And it's a 17-year-old vehicle. Other than that, what should I keep my eye out on?
That's a great question, especially for that particular engine. That engine is a very good engine. It's been one of my favorites to work on, to drive, the whole 9 yards. The only thing I can say, as far as costly repairs, I mean, every vehicle manufacturer has a few, that cost a lot of money to repair. That particular engine has spark plugs that actually blow out of the cylinder head. And I know that sounds crazy, but the spark plug design had very, very little thread. It actually had 4 threads, if you could imagine, just like a bolt. It only had 4 threads that contact the cylinder head. And what happened was 2 things. If they were ever tuned up and somebody didn't properly install the spark plugs or didn't tighten them up enough, they'll actually back out, and the spark plug will go up and down with the compression and just totally destroy the threads in there. The reason I'm telling you that is because maybe that one doesn't have that problem, but it's important to know if it did have that problem and the cylinder's been repaired. The reason I say that is because when the cylinders are repaired, they have a insert in them. It's called a helicoil insert, and it rethreads that hole. Spark plug's still the same size. It's all normal there, and it has a little knurled edge that holds the insert. But what can happen is if you're not aware of it and you go to tune that vehicle up and you pull the spark plug out, you may get the insert with it. And at that point, it's kind of difficult to get another insert in it, get it installed properly. So, hopefully they would be honest and let you know if that had been done, because that is
somebody. Well, somebody also mentioned to me about that vehicle, about how they made the drain holes for the oil return, and if the oil wasn't maintained properly, the drain holes are set. They get very restricted. Is there something preventive-wise that can be done? Like, for instance, if I decide to purchase it, do the BG treatment on it or a seafoam treatment for the oil?
Yes. There is a BG treatment. It's the engine clean, and it's a procedure where you get the engine hot. You add this additive. You go drive it some more, get it hot, let it sit, of course, with the drain plug out, let it drain out, and then you fill it back up with oil and put a friction modifier in there, and that's a very good service. So that's a great question, too. Now, I will say that those holes were more for racing. Well, not for racing, but you saw the problem persist in more racing applications, just simply because if somebody put that engine in there and they actually modify those holes. If you get the engine rebuilt, they actually kind of taper them so that they can flow a little bit more. So it really, honestly never seen that problem, as far as the day-to-day type repairs, as far as being restricted. No doubt that's out there, but I don't know that would be a big issue. The only other issue I can think of is ignition coils. We always joke on those 5.4s, 4.6s to carry 8 ignition coils in the glove box because they're kind of notorious for going out. Now, if they've all been replaced, you'll probably get another 100,000 miles out of them and have no issues. But if somebody did it like many people do, just replace one at a time, before long you're ending up replacing all 8 of them. So
yeah, Ben, if the vehicle has about 200,000 on it, then I would recommend before you purchase it, it would be a good idea to take the vehicle to a good repair facility. If you already have one that you work with, let them check to see if it's going to be due for a maintenance tune-up. They may have to let the engine get cold before they can check that.
Yeah.
And if you can get any repair history on the vehicle, that would be great. Now, if you pull the oil cap off, and the shop will do this, or you can do this, and look inside that engine and you see a lot of gunky stuff or suspect that the engine's gunky, then and needs that other, I'm not sure that I would get it anyway. 200,000 miles of gunky engine is not good. But my guess is, here's what I'm thinking. If somebody has 200,000 miles on the van and they have, and it's lasted this long and it drives good to you right now, I got a strong feeling that van's been taken care of. If you can get any maintenance records to prove that, the oil's been changed on a regular basis, I doubt the engine's going to be gunky on the inside. And just after that, have the brakes and front end checked, not to make it say that you're not going to get it, but just to know what to expect when you do purchase it and get a good starting point for the vehicle.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not buying it to. I mean, when you look at a vehicle like that, you're not buying.
You're not buying it to restore. This is more of a work vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah, and you want to make sure that of what you're getting, and then that way, when the shop is looking at it, they can listen for any unusual noises. And like if you got a tie rod in that needs to be replaced, it's better to know it when you buy it, so you can go ahead and get it taken care of and be good and safe. But my guess is, just from what, for some reason, I have that feeling that vehicle's probably been taken care of, because normally people don't get 200,000 miles on a car and not have been taken care of it.
Well, that and like, what's that van used for? That's not something, you drive every day. That's I said that wrong. It's a work vehicle, so it had to have been taken care of.
Yeah.
So
that's my guess.
Right. Yeah. What about the transmissions in those vehicles?
Transmissions are very, very stout. They're a very good transmission. Really, as long as there's no neglect, just like Aaron mentioned, as long as the fluid's been kept up, they're a really, really good transmission.
That is a little trickier, though, Ben. When we're doing a pre-purchase inspection, we can look at the color of the fluid and get some idea of its burn. If it's got that dark color or burnt smell, then I'd be hesitant on getting it. But if the fluid looks good and it's shifting good, that's really about, and not leaking, that's about all you can do to check a transmission. But you can look at all that and everything show good, and then the transmission can still go. So there's a little risk involved anytime on that.
That and part of that pre-purchase inspection, of course, they would scan the vehicle's computer for trouble codes, and something could show up there for it too. But
okay, fantastic. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Great question, Ben, and thank you for calling. Okay. Good luck with his van.
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready to go to the next caller?
Yeah, let's go over to Tony.
Okay. Hey, Tony.
We got about 3 minutes left here.
Oh, 3 minutes. Well, that's plenty of time to either give ordain Tony as a guru or give him an I button.
All right, here we go.
All right, Tony, let's see what it's going to be.
Okay, we got three things here.
Yes.
In this, we got a can, a 5-gallon gas can.
Empty one.
We got a forked stick.
Yes.
Turns out that don't work.
Something unknown, right?
Yeah, exactly. Those 3 items.
Okay. So what it is, he's out in the woods here.
Yes.
This forked stick is a finding rod.
Whoa.
That you find water with.
Uh-huh.
Now he knows how to use this because he's out in the woods a lot.
Uh-huh.
So he takes this finding rod stick and he finds either an old well or a spring in the ground. And so he either uncovers this well to get water, and this well still has water in it, so he gets the water out of the well. Now, what I'm not sure of is the third item.
Tony, one thing I'm gonna have to mention, and I'm just the messenger.
You're the middleman.
I'm the middleman on this. But our research department, Dominic Frito, he has said that he did all the research, and I'm not going to tell you his exact words of what that is.
I've got a beat button.
He did not have high reviews coming from the fork stick being a rod.
The myth was busted.
Huh?
The myth was busted.
Yeah, the myth was, I think, busted, according to him now. So, that just shoots holes all in your whole story there, Tony. Man, I'm sorry.
Well, it was a good try, anyhow.
It was. All right. And I tell you what we're going to do. Thank you, Tony. What we're going to do is we're going to go to these next two because we're going to go to the two on the screen that have answers, and then we will take a break. We may take one more, and after that, we're just going to have to mark this one down as an unanswered tech tip quiz, one of the first we've ever had that no one is able to answer.
All right, we'll go to James and Margot as soon as we get back.
We will do that.